Okay, Ron. So tell me a little bit about yourself and how you became a Rotarian.
Well, I'm from Norman, Oklahoma, and back in high school I had participated in the Kiwanis youth group, which is now similar to Interact, but this was before Interact got started, and certainly before we had Interact in Duncan, Oklahoma, our hometown. But I really enjoyed my experience in Key Club and thought at some point I might have an opportunity to continue serving in a community support role as a member of an organization that did good things in the community. But that didn't happen until I completed my law school education. And a really good friend of mine invited me to Rotary one day and ended up joining.
Okay. So the Key Club missed out.
Kiwanis missed out,
Kiwanis missed out,
which is a point I usually try to drive home to Rotarians, that you still have to be asked to join a Rotary Club, and it's our opportunity to invite our friends and those that we know in our community that would make great Rotarians to come to Rotary with us.
Yeah. You know, I was in Staten Island a week ago, and there were a lot of Kiwanis there who had a meeting in the same building. So I mentioned to him that our President of Rotary International was hoping to join Kiwanis, but they never asked him, and he ended up joining Rotary. So they said, "Oh wow, we missed that one too." Then.
Well, I hate to tell you this, Matts, but I'm afraid that shoe fits on both feet. I think there are probably, certainly at this point, a lot of Interactors, Rotaractors, Rotarians, Youth Exchange students, Foundation alumni that we haven't gone after either. And that's certainly the whole point of our New Generations effort this year with the New Gen Committee. And we, as you know, we've had our first New Generations conference in Chennai where we had over 10,000 Rotaractors. And tonight, Jed and I are flying to Uganda for our second one, where we'll have probably between 4,000 and 5,000 Rotaractors. And
I mean, I'm glad you were able to come here to the United Nations in your busy schedule, but tell me more about how you're working with the new generation and what your passion and objectives of that is.
Well, my hope is to do a couple of things. First, I want to convey to all of the new generations that we care about them. They are not our future, they're our now. It's critically important that we recognize that if we're going to survive, we need to be reaching out. We're putting a lot of money into the new generations because none of these programs are cheap, yet we're not getting the return on that investment that a businessman or a reasonable businessman would expect. And so I'm hoping to open the eyes of Rotarians to listen to and invite and get engaged all of our new generations in Rotary Club projects and in our communities, and all working together. I was just recently in Huntington, West Virginia, and met with the Rotaract Club from Marshall University. And later that afternoon, I met with the Interact Club from Spring Valley High School. And Spring Valley had just done a Purple Pinky project where they ask each student to give them 37 cents for a dose of polio vaccine, painted their pinky purple. And this is a school of about 1,200 people. They raised over $80. And I asked them to maybe partner with the Rotaract Club at Marshall and work with the Rotary Club of Huntington, and all work together to start doing projects in the community together. And I think that's going to be our future if we're going to survive.
Yeah, I understand you guys did an outreach project at your last board meeting.
We did. As a matter of fact, I think it's critically important for the board to have a little bit of fun in the process, and there's nothing that creates fellowship and teamwork more than rolling up your sleeves. So we went to, on a Saturday afternoon a week ago, we went to feed my starving children and packed boxes of food.
Yeah, we had a similar project in our district. Pre-pets is usually a boring event, so the local judge from Oklahoma, George McInnes and I, we came up with this idea. We're going to have a Saturday morning brunch with mimosas and eggs Benedict and Bloody Marys. And then they came in from Floyd, and so came in and showed this bag of food and said they can feed 6 people for $1.50. 6 clubs joined right away, and we had 42 clubs on board when we did our first part of the project, and we packaged 48,000 meals.
Yeah, and that's wonderful.
Everybody was so inspired, and now we're coming back together again on November 16 to do another, 80,000 meals. I mean, yeah, another 60,000 meals, so we're going to do 108,000. And people were so energized that they're really lining up now to wanting to do it.
Yeah. Well, like I say, there's nothing that creates fellowship and gets everybody involved, gets them engaged, if you will, a term I really like, Matts, as you know. And what happens, you know, obviously you and we are going to change the lives of those children who are going to get to eat.
Yes.
But in that process, I think we both got a warm fuzzy in our heart because it changed our life as well.
I think we, as people, like to change the lives of other people for the better.
I think that's what Rotary is all about.
Yeah, and I think that's what humanity is all about.
Oh, I do too.
That we are
a brother's keeper.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
that's instinctive. Maybe it's in our DNA, and Rotary is kind of catering to that.
Well, we can certainly be a catalyst for it, I think,
yeah.
And we can raise the awareness in our communities. And when we boil it all down, our community is the world.
Yeah. So tell the story about how you came to Wall Street when we met. You flew in
yes.
without an assistant.
Well, I had an opportunity. They said that UN Secretary General was going to close the New York Stock Exchange, and that we had been invited to participate. And would I like to go, or would I like to send someone to represent Rotary? And I said, oh no, I'm going to do that myself. So I flew into LaGuardia, and when I landed, of course, it was really nice because I didn't have any luggage or anything, and so it was a day trip.
Yeah.
But I went down to the limo service and got on the bus and came over to Grand Central.
Yeah.
I went into Grand Central, grabbed the number 5 train, went down to Wall Street, and I ran into you at the New York Stock Exchange. We had just an absolutely wonderful event there. Had an opportunity to have some really good FaceTime with Ban Ki-moon.
Yes.
And met several Rotarians, including you, and then we took the subway back up to Grand Central, and and I went back over to I guess it was 41st or 40th, I can't remember.
Yeah, I think
Grand
it was
Central.
41st and Park, I think.
And I'm standing in line to get back on the limo. Yeah. And the guy, there was a gentleman and his wife standing in front of me, and the guy kept turning around and looking at me. And then he looked and he says, "Is that a Rotary pin?" And as you know, I wear the small Rotary pin.
Very small pin.
Because if I wear one this size, no one asks me what Rotary is. But if I wear one this size, I get into all kinds of conversations with people. Okay. So I said, "Yes, it is." He said, "So you're a Rotarian?" I says, "Yes, I am." He says, "Wait a minute. You look familiar." And I said, "Oh, well, a lot of people say that." You know, he says, "You're the guy that was on the cover of the Rotarian. You're the president of Rotary International." I said, "Yes, I am." You know, and so we got into a really nice conversation, and there was a young man behind me, and he's wondering, what in the world are these people doing? So we got into a conversation and invited him to join Rotary.
Oh, okay.
So we parlayed something kind of funny into an appeal. It gave us our little a chance to do our elevator speech. But it was almost, to me, hilarious, standing on the streets of Manhattan, waiting to get on a bus to go back to LaGuardia to fly back to Chicago, and a guy says, "You look familiar," and then recognizing me and giving me an opportunity. It was a great day. I had a lot of fun, Matts. It was great being with you. You're doing a great job as governor.
Thank you. So now, what is your passion in Rotary? Except I've heard young people is one passion you have.
Well, my the hot button for me, certainly early on and still is the Rotary Foundation and what we as individuals and collectively do to help our fellow man and to make the world a better place for all of us. You know, when I love to see Rotarians at work. When you see a group of Rotarians roll up their sleeves and actually do something, digging water wells or filling food baskets or doing any kind of project that we do in spades every day, every second of every day, it's very heartwarming and just makes me want to be more and more a part of that.
Yeah. But you also, in your professional life, you've been involved with foundations.
That's correct. I was at the University of Oklahoma Foundation for virtually 40 years and had a great run there and enjoyed it immensely.
And you graduated out of Oklahoma University also?
I have an accounting degree and a law degree. I have 2 degrees from there.
So you never left Oklahoma University?
I never did. I actually had a dream occupation, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it, and I still enjoy living in Norman.
Okay.
When I get a chance to be there. I haven't been there much lately.
But are you you're retired now, I see?
Yes.
But you're
still active in Rotary, however.
But that means that once you're going to end up on the foundation, you'll be able to bring that know-how and skill to to the Rotary Foundation?
Well, hopefully I've done that over the years, but I look forward to that opportunity and with, to try to advance my favorite charity and to even do more good in the world.
Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
Well, I'd love to invite everyone to come to Sydney, Australia for our convention, Matts.
Okay, right, yes.
1 to 4 June 2014. We're going to have a dynamite program for you. Oh, I happen to have George Camp just gave me the pen here. He happens to be on the promotion committee for the Sydney Convention. It's doing a great job for us.
George, you want to join us for the plug for the Sydney
Convention? No, I think the president can say it first.
But I would be remiss if I didn't invite you to beautiful Sydney. It's going to be an absolutely wonderful convention. We're out at Sydney Olympic Park, which is a tremendous venue. Transportation, once you get into the city, on the public transportation will be provided to you at no cost. Like I say, we're going to have a dynamite program. I can't release names yet because we're still waiting to, as I say, bag the whales, and looking forward to starting to do that fairly soon. But there will be a real message at the convention, and I think and hope when you walk out of that convention plenary hall, you say, boy, that was wonderful, and I get it.
But you won't say what the message will be, will you?
I got CNN on the phone. You got to say it then.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Very good. Well, thank you, Ron. Really a pleasure to
Thank you, Matts.
have you here.
Thanks again for all you're doing this year. You're doing a great job.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. You want to do a plug for our district conference with
Sure.
Louis Guy?
Sure. I hope you come to Matts District Conference. You have representing Jetta and me will be Luis and Celia G.I., past president of Rotary International. Celia's on the board of directors now. And I can assure you Governor Matts will have a tremendous, inspiring program that you certainly want to come and be a part of. And you might even hear George talking about, are you going to go to that one, George, and talk about Sydney? We want to see you in Sydney, Australia.
Very good. Well, and thank you for appointing Louis and Celia to come to my conference.
Oh. Well, we did well, I think.
Yes, we did.
So, if you don't like Louis, I can't help you.
Maybe I will grow into it.
You will.
You want to wear it?
No.
It's